Hello students, this is Bhavin Patel, your English teacher, and I welcome you to my YouTube channel Abhinav English. From this video, we are going to start with our 11th standard English textbook, and in that, we'll see first poetry section. So let's start with our first poetry. Poetry is an expression of a writer's deepest thoughts and emotions. If a poem is simple and meaningful, people would probably enjoy it much more. These are the words by not only the living legend but one of the pioneers of Indian writings in English, none other than Ruskin Bond. Students, let us see. Ruskin Bond was born in Kasauli, Himachal Pradesh in 1934. Ruskin Bond has written hundreds of short stories, essays, novellas, and more than 30 books for children. His first novel, The Room on the Roof, written when he was 17, received the John Llewellyn Rice Memorial Prize in 1957. He has also published 2 volumes of autobiography, Scenes from a Writer's Life and The Lamp is Lit, a collection of essays and episodes from his journal. In 1992, he received the Sahitya Akademi Award for English Writing in India. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999. Ruskin Bond lives in his adopted family in Mussoorie, Uttarakhand. The poem Cherry Tree is about the poet's ecstasy over a tree which he planted that took 8 years to grow. He is expressing his wonder at the ways of nature and how the cherry blossoms are fragile and quick to fall. The tree gives him immense joy as he can see the stars and the blue sky through dappled green trees. Let us see the explanation of the poem line by line. Cherry Tree. 8 years have passed since I placed my cherry seed in the grass. Must have a tree of my own, I said, and watered it once and went to bed and forgot about cherries have a way of growing, though no one's caring very much or knowing. The poem begins with the poet's recalling of his sowing seeds in the ground 8 years before. The poet remembers how carelessly he had just forgot about it after putting the cherry seed in the ground and watered it only once. That summer, near the end of May, I found a tree had come to stay. It was very small, 5 months child, lost in the tall grass running wild. Goats ate the leaves, the grass cutter scythe split it apart, and a monsoon blight shriveled the slender stem. Even so, in spite of this carelessness, cherry sapling sprouted out of the seed during the summer season around in May. It was very small, 5 months old sapling growing with the wild grass. It was so unnoticeable that goats ate its leaves and mower cuts it with scythe. Even the monsoon affected it. Its already thin stem dried even more. We see here the struggle of the cherry tree for survival at any cost. The poet further writes, next spring I watched tree new shoots grow. Next spring I watched tree new shoots grow. The young tree struggle upward thrust. It aims in a fresh fire's lust. In the next spring season, the poet saw to his surprise that the young sapling had turned into a young tree. It had not only survived but struggling to surge upward towards the sunlight and the fresh air. For light and air and sun, I could only wait as one who watched wondering while time and the rain made a miracle from green growing pain. I went away next year, spent a season in Kashmir, came back thinner, rather poor, but richer by a cherry tree at my door. 6 feet high, my own dark cherry, and I could scarcely believe it a berry. The poet was just passively watching the tree grow. He was wondering at the survival struggle of the plant through different seasons, rough and harsh upon it. He went away to Kashmir, and when returned, much time had passed. The poet this time had become somewhat thinner and poor in health. On the contrary, he felt himself richer as he saw the fully grown cherry tree at his door. It had grown 6 feet tall. He felt so proud to have his own cherry tree. This all was so unbelievable for him that the first cherry fruit he saw, he took it as a berry. It was ripened and looking as if it were a precious jewel. Ripened and jeweled in the sun, hung from a branch just one. And next year there were blossoms, small, pink, fragile, quick to fall. At the merest breath, the sleepiest breath. Next year there was eyes widening beauty of the cherry tree. It was in full bloom of its pink and tender flowers. The flowers were so delicate that they may fall even by the slightest breath or blow of wind. Now towards the last stanza, poet says, I lay on the grass at ease, looking up through leaves at the blue, blind sky, at the finches as they flew, and flitted through the dappled green, while bees and an ecstasy drank of nectar from each bloom, and the sun sank swiftly, and the stars turned in the sky, and moon moths and singing crickets, and yes I, praised night and stars and tree, that small, the cherry grown by me. The poet comes back to the present from his nostalgia. He is just lying on the grass under the tree, looking at the sky, visible from the branches and leaves of the cherry tree. He observes how birds like finches and bees are enjoying the bloom and nectar, the sweet liquid produced by the flowers. At night, he hears moon moths and crickets. The poet is still here under the cherry tree, praising the ambience around and the most belonging of all, his own cherry tree. Thus, the poem ends here on a happy note of blooms and belongingness. The poet here symbolizes cherry tree for human struggle to survive and prosper in life. So students, here our poem ends. And thank you for watching this video, and please do not forget to subscribe my channel Abhinav English.